Here's another patch that I'm working on. This one's not going to be welded flush for a number of reasons, and all we're going to have to do for filler is bridge that. I may flange that. I may flange the edges before I'm done. That will bring it up, but I'm not planning on it at this moment. We'll see. Basically what I did was cut my patch a little bit oversized for the damage, traced out a line around that, and here you can see the line. I cut with inside that line, stayed within the lines, allow myself enough little overlap here to weld to, and then stick the piece in there, get it to fit like this side. And you can see I overcut the corners so I could bend this up just a little bit. Tool in there and bend it up just a little bit. Used a chisel in here to pry up the edges a little bit and get this metal to slide underneath. Got it jammed in that way and pushed it up that way. So now that'll fill the gap here. I got another square little piece, just because I didn't feel like cutting out that shape twice to catch these two little holes. So I'm going to do those with another little piece. It happens to be back behind here, but here's an example. This one's going to go over on this side. I have the plate marked, first patch marked, and I'm going to weld this to that. I'm going to weld it from the other side so this side stays flat and flush like that. Do the same thing over here, and then come back and do some rosette welds just to fill in all these pinholes and to attach that metal backer to this. This is basically just a backer. A backer patch maybe? Not sure what you call it, but one of the many methods. This would do pretty well. I could weld that in, grind it down, mud it over, and that's still within specs, even for filler. I wanted to get fancy, which I'm not sure I'm going to do at this point, kind of in a hurry. I could trace a line on here, on this piece, run it through the bead roller, or use the flanging tool, we have that too, and put a slight flange on that. The trick with that is getting the flange to line up exactly accurate with your line. Otherwise you end up with a big gap here anyway. It just drops down a little earlier. So I'm tempted to not bother with the flange. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, we'll see. But I'm getting these pieces fitted, and next I'm going to stick them in the acid so I can get them all cleaned up. Do a little more acid inside here, get that cleaned up. Every place I can reach, and get it primed. Okay, well, actually get that all the way to acid wash, neutralize it, OSPO it, so it looks like this metal here. This was OSPO'd about a couple days ago. Helps preserve the clean metal and keep it from flash rust and stuff like that. It may tamper with welding a little bit, so lots of times I'll take a whiz wheel down the edge I want to weld on. But that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to get these soaked in acid, come back tomorrow, pull them out of the acid, neutralize them, hit them with some OSPO, and start working on this as soon as the OSPO dries. I'm also going to put some weld-through primer on the back, of course, and do some treatment on this. I'm not going to worry about filling the holes. We're not getting into the structural part, unfortunately, but we're going to make it look pretty. Alright, then I got these down here to do. Similar technique. I'll just cut a hole big enough to get a metal patch in there that fits in and goes under all these holes. Same with over here. Cut it this way, cut it that way, bend this piece up a little bit, get a piece in there, lay it back down. A few things to take care of there. Some of this is going to have to be done from the underside, of course. The bottom side is really gone. I like to do the top first, so that I can have access to move parts around or whatever from the back side. Do the top side, I'll flip it over, do the bottom side, put that edge in there, and start with then I'll hit it with epoxy and then start the body work. And in case you're wondering why I'm using rusty metal and not brand new clean metal, this is what the customer brought, this is what we have on hand. And we deal with rust so often that this is not even a problem. This is pretty common for us to start with something that has some flash rust. Here's the same piece, and a wire wheel over it. That's pretty clean. All I'd have to do now is hit that with a little OSPO and that'll take care of any rust problems. Before and after. So that's why we're using rusty metal for this, because it just won't matter by the time we're done. Clean up the back sides of these patches. Gotta weld these two pieces together and get it going. Here's the patch pieces I made. Here's one kind of during. See, I welded it from the back, so all the welds are on that side. This side will come out nice and smooth. And I took a stripping disc to the other one. See, it's all nice and clean now. But there's still little traces in there of rust, so I'm going to wipe it down with some OSPO and that'll take care of that. That's what you get from rusty metal, cleaner metal.